This content is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained on here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by Draper Goren Holm or any third-party service provider to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever.
Hey everyone, it is me. We are here. Joseph is here too. Say hi, Joseph.
Hey, what's up?
Boom, boom, boom. We're recording.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone.
I am recording this on the computer now.
Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone.
Boom. All right. It says it's recording. Boom, 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 boom. I am apparently recording.
The entire bottle of control. They're all exactly the same.
Crypto art, and then what it really is an NFT.
Wow.
Eddie wants to slap the bag.
So this is the next best thing.
DeFi is going to be a bubble.
It's provably scarce.
With Mad Dog.
Crypto, gold, and silver.
Transparent substance.
Take my money, start a war with it.
Without further ado.
Cheers to you, brother.
Get shit on because the system has to collapse before that.
My Corona. Cheers. I feel much better now.
Cheers.
Wow, that was heavy.
Boom. I was looking down at my phone at Twitter, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait, I think it's almost over. It was pretty good. Welcome back, Ian. I'm so stoked. We're Blockchain Booze number 157. And this is going to be a fun one because last week we were actually talking a lot about Lunar Crush and data and all that. We were hinting that next week there was going to be some big things. And this week you guys launched Nakamoto 1. So this is going to be fun to talk about. A lot of cool things. Before we fully jump in, if you're joining us on one of the streams like Lunar Crush's Twitter account, or on YouTube or on LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever, if you go to blockchainbooze.io, it'll redirect you to the Draper Goren Holm events website, DGH events website, and you can go there and chat live with other folks in the community while we're going on. I watch there. I'm seeing Ben in there. I'm seeing James. I'm seeing a ton of others, Roberto. Lots of friends, and stoked to be here today and excited because we've been talking about this for a little while. You know, I remember at one point Joe saying like, yeah, we're talking to this group. I think we're going to put Bitcoin on the moon. And I was like, yeah, bro, we're going to moon. He's like, no, we're going to put Bitcoin on the moon. And you know, we went through like 3 or 4 of those cycles where I was trying to get what the hell he was talking about. And it was just super fun. Oh, did I just screw up the screen, by the way?
I don't think so.
Or do you just see us side by side?
Yeah, I got you. Just us.
I clicked on a new button I saw on StreamYard that said edit layout. And I was, and it got all funny.
Okay.
From my view, but here we go. Did we go zoomed in? Did we go zoomed out? Oh,
I'm gone.
You're gone. You know, John made a joke on Twitter earlier, and he put or not John. John made that funny flock of seagulls joke or something, but somebody made a joke with our hair from the graphic, and then I was like, oh man, I got to get home and shave so I could do the mustache.
Oh
but
man,
instead of doing the mustache, I played with stacks and NFTs for the last like 2 hours, which is pretty awesome. But why don't we, before we jump in, and there's something I'm gonna mint an NFT in like a minute, but first, why don't we give everyone the quick high level, what the heck is Nakamoto 1? What does it mean to put Bitcoin on the moon? And then we'll dive into details while we wait for the transactions to confirm and all that fun stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, as you mentioned, you know, it's almost 18 months ago now at this point, Joe started up a meeting, was like, you know, we're going to put Bitcoin on the moon. And all of us were same reaction. We were just like, what does that even mean? Like, yeah, it's gonna moon at like some point, you know, we're stoked. He's like, no, like we're gonna partner with this company. They're called Lunar Outpost. They got rovers and they're gonna send one to the moon on a SpaceX rocket. And like, we're gonna do a project with them. So you guys need to start thinking about what we want to do. They want to do an NFT project. And then I was like, whoa, okay. Where do we even start? So 18 months of development, we ended up with Nakamoto 1, the first interplanetary treasure hunt powered by Bitcoin-secured NFTs via the Stacks blockchain. So the long and short of this is we're inscribing a private key to a crypto wallet on the side of this rover. No one's going to know that private key. It's not going to be backed up. It's not going to be stored anywhere. And
trying to see if there was a picture of the rover on here.
Yeah, there it is.
The
pretty much, yeah. So it looks something like that, and there'll be like a little plaque on the back of it, and that plaque will have the private key on there. And so the NFT project kind of supports it. So we're taking 25% of the funds from the NFT project and we're dumping it all into this this wallet. And so there's going to be about 62 Bitcoin that we're going to be putting on this rover. And the first one to the moon gets it. So obviously, you know, there's a public address associated with that, and that's obviously public. So that's going to go out to the world, and everybody can contribute to it, and it's just going to exponentially grow over time. So yeah, there's a whole lot of like game mechanics and things that we're going to get into, I'm sure, here in a bit. But that's really the gist of the project here.
It's freaking crazy cool, because I mean, like going through the iterations of it also. Sorry, I keep messing with this thing, so I was trying to see how we show the video and you talking, and obviously I very rarely sway from the just basic view here. But the thing that's nuts is exactly that. You guys will put, hopefully, what did you say, 62 Bitcoin or something like that, if all goes well. Now, aside from that Bitcoin, I think that there's going to be a whole group, because instantly I got a ton of ideas, and that's natural for me, right? Like I'll come up with 18,000 ideas by the end of Blockchain and Booze and only think about one or two of them ever again. But I think that, you know, how cool is it to know that there's going to be a Bitcoin wallet, an Ethereum, and all the EVM wallets, a Tezos wallet, a Stacks wallet, all these wallets that exist on the moon, on a rover, behind a plate, that can only be unlocked if people get there, find it, actually do something with it. So someone has to go to the moon, or someone has to send a robot to the moon to actually pull this plate off of a moving target, an actual rover that's doing research, you know?
Yeah, well, so the rover will actually only survive for about 2 weeks. So it won't be moving around unless somebody's actually up there within the 2 weeks that it gets there, which I would be really impressed. That would be epic.
Dude, how insane if somebody could somehow find a way to get to the moon in that 2 week period of time, quickly stow away in that same rocket. Like you pay millions of dollars to SpaceX to get something in there.
Right. That'd be wild. Yeah. So the Lunar Outpost mission will last about at a maximum 14 days. And that's one moon day is 14 Earth days. And so basically when the light stops hitting this rover, it's going to get so cold and there's no solar power there anymore for it. So it'll essentially die. So it'll stop, we'll lose all transmissions from it and everything there, and it'll stop moving after that 14-day period. Now, there are some things that like might shorten that time frame even more. So if they land and you know, maybe it falls into like a shady area or something like that, it could be a little bit shorter, but you know, ideally by Lunar Outpost standards, they get that full 14 days.
Well, regardless, I mean, yeah, I hope for them and for the excitement of us watching any data and streams and things, like it'll just be really radical to see. Because I mean, at this point, I think we've all watched like SpaceX rocket launches and things moving on the moon and stuff like that enough times to just know how exciting it is to watch that stuff. And now we have some little even if it's like, it's there and you don't see it all the time, like to know that there is behind a plate, there is that address, there is something.
Well,
really
I mean, there's something pretty wild, working on this project. You look at the moon at night and you know that like in a short amount of time, like at this year, there's going to be something literally on the surface of the moon that, we're all associated with. And I mean, you can mint an NFT of your face and send it to the moon, or, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's super fun. And you kind of just mentioned, like, we've all watched the SpaceX rockets and stuff. We've all probably seen that online, but there's probably not a whole bunch of us that have seen that in person. And that's something that we're hoping to make happen for all the Android holders, is to get them out to Florida and witness the actual rocket going up with the treasure chest on it. So, we got a lot of things planned for Android holders. It's going to be a pretty small, tight-knit community. So we hope to deliver a lot of value to those people.
Dang, that's really cool. You know what we should do for maybe we consider it like a live blockchain and booze hang session, but there's lots of places like where people normally go to watch like a football game on a Sunday, like
right,
bars and spaces where you could order drinks and then have a big screen. We should have those kind of hang sessions all over the place. I'd be stoked to host one up here where I am. So
let's do it. Well, hopefully you're hosting it from Florida.
That would be even more exciting. So if I can make it to Florida, that would be even better. By the way, just because it's funny, and you said, I don't remember what you said that triggered me remembering this, but I took the Nakamoto One logo, which, hold on, I'll add to this stream really quick and we'll scroll to the top of the page. This dude right here, can you see my cursor, by the way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, so the cool Nakamoto flag guy and logo, and I put him into that AI. Into what was that?
Midjourney.
Yeah, I put it into Midjourney AI, and I combined it with I literally put that image and my normal, just the face of Punk Ape Strong, this guy's face, and it made me his own Nakamoto One. So
epic.
So I immediately texted it to Joe and I said, when Nakamoto One PFPs. So
well, the Android
next project is already baked in. And I mean, the Androids, I don't know much about them. So I want to
well, right here, something super exciting. We actually just had our very first Android minted. So if you go up to Gamma, somebody just got to it. So go to Gamma, type in Nakamoto One, and then look for the Android collection. You're going to see the very first one.
Level 1, Nakamoto One, level 2.
There it is.
Oh, dang.
And then click on that bad boy. Play that video. So there it is. So there's only going to be 2,000 of these, and they operate in a very traditional PFP way. So there's a bunch of different traits, there's different backgrounds, there's rarity built into all of those. So that's the very first one.
Yeah, so there's no percentages here, anything yet.
Not yet.
So cool. Because I didn't even get to see the level 2 ones. So here's something cool. So when you have the 4 different level 1s, these are really cool too. When you have the 4 different level 1s, like I do in my wallet, you can then take them here to the mint page, and you actually burn them to mint the level 2. So let's start that process right now on my wallet.
Let's do it.
And then, because I know it can take some time for block confirmation on Stacks, because it follows the Bitcoin blockchain. So I'm burning number 81, number 78, number 51, and number 92 to receive my level 2 NFT. Mint, not level 1. All right, it's going to burn these. I'm just double checking because I told Ian before we started, and I was talking about it in the console app, that I own number 69, which was a really important one for meme value. And I was so scared I would accidentally burn it tonight, so I'm double checking the transaction. And
Well, you're gonna have to get Android number 69 too.
dang that, yeah, I won't be able to wait that long, but maybe I'll mint a second one at some point.
There you go.
Okay, so pending mint Nakamoto 1 level 2. Please be patient. Confirmation may instantly take up to 60 minutes.
Yeah, so let me just
on the road to the stars.
Let me kind of explain exactly how the structure of all of this works. So there's 3 different levels of NFTs here. So your level 1 has 24,000 NFTs, which is a really high supply, but it is a deflationary model there. So just what you're doing right now, you've collected, there's 4 subtypes in your level 1. So there's a flag, a wormhole, a rover, and a helmet. And so you need those exact NFTs from your level 1 to then you're going to combine and burn those, and you're going to receive an NFT from the level 2. And that's the only way that the level 2 NFTs are minted. You have to destroy 4 level 1s.
Well, and in this first period, you guys had minted 100 of the original NFTs, and now there's 76 left in a minute, or whenever this next block confirmation happens, we're going to be at 72.
Right.
So we've already reduced the number of level 1 NFTs significantly in one day.
That's right. So you're going to repeat that process on level 2, and you're going to collect a map, an orb. So this is the sick animation. Boom.
Yeah, you have received a rocket number 7.
Yeah. So every time you mint and destroy, you see that cool animation, your NFT is revealed. And so now you have moved up to level 2. So you're basically just going to repeat this process that you've done. So you need to now go collect another flag, another rover, another wormhole, another helmet, and you're going to get an orb. And then you're going to do that again. You're going to get a map. And then once you have those 3 level 2 NFTs, that button in that 3rd column that says mint Android will become available. And that's the final community of only 2,000 Android NFTs operating in that PFP style, the traits. So you can see there that there's only 3,999 Androids to be minted left, because one of them is already out there. So that's the final community.
Yeah, and if anybody gets one of these, like if some jerk gets level 1 number 69 and never burns it with the rest, then it will be impossible for all 2,000 Androids to get minted.
So
I would assume there'll be some other dumbasses like the dude who has number 69 who don't let that happen. And so I don't think there will ever be 2,000 Androids.
I think you're right.
But there could be a day where there's more Androids than there are level 1s. And so the whole gamification fun part of that could be pretty great.
Yeah, man. You know, so kind of going back to that initial conversation where Joe was like, you know, we're going to put Bitcoin on the moon and we're going to build an NFT project around this to support it. Once a little bit of that shock factor wore off, you know, my brain started going like, okay, so how do we make this different than anything else that's ever been done before? Obviously, it's already different because we're sending a real physical rover to the actual moon. But from an NFT engagement standpoint, like I may not actually be the human to go to the moon and get the treasure chest, but I can interact and contribute and participate in the project in multiple different ways. I can maybe never purchase an NFT, but I can send some NFTs of my own or some cryptocurrency to the treasure. So that's one way to participate.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying with the crazy ideas, right? Because I have all sorts of silly ideas, you know, that I was talking about, for Punk Ape Strong, right? So Punk Ape Strong has created special guitar picks and backstage passes and tour posters and stacks of magazines or whatever. And I always joke that he's the most popular ape on Tezos. But let's jokingly say he decides to create a PFP collection in collaboration with Nakamoto. I made this shit up like 5 minutes ago, so nobody act like this is a real thing. And I was joking, you know,
it's pretty dope.
This is a mid-journey thing, but maybe we do it, right? And maybe 100% of the proceeds from this don't go into some founder's pocket, but go to the moon, just to add to the crazy treasure hunt and the lore and essentially, this is like a pirate's treasure in the hardest freaking place that's somewhat attainable that we could put it, right? I mean, we could launch it into a rocket that just keeps going forever, and it would pretty much never be attainable by anyone on Earth in our lifetimes. But this is on the moon. There are private rockets you could hitch a ride on and send a robot to the moon to find this treasure for you.
Right.
And, you know, 42 Bitcoin today is worth a couple $1 million.
62 Bitcoin.
62.
Yeah.
It'll
be about
$3 million soon.
Right.
But I mean, it's $2 million right now, but I believe in Bitcoin and that it'll be $3 million before the end of the year easily. But then you add whatever stacks end up on there, whatever goofy NFTs. I'm going to start using it as my burn address. Instead of burning something from my wallet, I'm just going to send it to the moon. Somebody will get a pleasure. And I actually thought about this with my kids, and then you keep going into your ideas here. I'll stop sharing this for now because I'll go back to this view, you know, or this view. I was talking about this with my kids because I was like, well, if I put an NFT on there, everyone will be able to see the NFT. So they'll know in advance it's there. But you could put an NFT on there or a contract on there where the owner can unlock content that's actually secret. So nobody would actually know what's on there. So Punk Ape Strong could write a song. It could live on an NFT that's there. And everyone in the world and everyone in the galaxy and everyone in the universe can see that NFT. But only the person who controls that NFT in their own wallet will be able to see some piece of unlockable content. And maybe he puts some kind of secret message on there, right? Maybe the answer to life, the universe, and everything is behind that unlockable content.
Yeah.
And only when somebody actually redeems it, they see that unlockable content. And now you can just imagine so many fun projects and things people could do. And it's all kind of like, I love the kind of STEM sciencey goofiness behind it, because my kids instantly go like, oh, who's going to send a robot? You know, who can, maybe Elon Musk can just send somebody there, like was one of their answers. And it's kind of true. Pretty soon, there are going to be manned missions to the moon somewhat soon.
For sure.
You know,
in the coming years.
An astronaut.
For sure. I mean, I love that idea. That's a great idea. You know, it's almost like that operates then as like a time capsule, you know, so it's like you could leave messages, you know, about what's going on now, about who you are. It kind of, you know, time stamps maybe where we're at, even with crypto and technology and just the world. And then that's locked up and inaccessible until somebody actually gets to the moon. I love that idea. I also want to jump back to kind of your idea about like this collaborative PFP thing, and then the proceeds are like then sent to the treasure chest. I love that idea too. Like there's nothing stopping anybody or any of our community members to doing these things. And that's really what we want this to be about. We want it to be collaborative. We want it to be fun. And we want this to be a project that inspires people to kind of push the boundaries and think outside of the box and do things that haven't been done before, like send, you know, locked NFTs that are only unlocked when, you know, certain.
That's the thing. It's like, I don't want, like, I love the fact that there's going to be 60 Bitcoin there, right? And do I keep changing the number? First I said 40, then you said it was 62.
It's 62 right now. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, you know, 62 Bitcoin. I love that, right? But the second somebody gets that treasure, they know exactly what it is. I love the fact that like when treasure hunters in real life like go to find treasure, like my wife and I have been watching that one TV show, like the Curse of Oak Island or whatever. Have you seen that one yet?
I have.
Where, these dudes are digging the hole, and we're only like a quarter way through, so no spoilers. But like every time they do find something, it's like only a fraction of what they were hoping to find, or there's like something, or every single like treasure hunty thing ends up they find something different than what they were looking for. And I feel like like that part of it is especially fun for me, and having some unlockable content, having some goofy stuff, but also the fact that like today it's that much. Every day that goes by, because I'm sure over time the value of these things will go up. At least I believe that.
Right.
At a certain point, just brute forcing it will be worth it, right? Like literally just paying whatever top
Getting
dollar
there.
for an engineering firm to create a robot to basically launch another rover to the moon just to get this one, right? Will be worth it. I mean, there's but also, what if it's so much money that like an astronaut does have to like genuinely think like, do I go rogue? Like this, it could be generational wealth
Right.
for my family. Right? Like
How crazy would that be?
I want that conflict of interest in like a NASA scientist on the moon, right? How cool is
Totally.
that? Or what if another country just goes like, fuck it, let's just have our astronaut do a detour really quick and get that Bitcoin.
Well, here's the crazy thing is, so this part of the moon that we're going to, it's on the South Pole, and it's near this crater called Shackleton's crater, and the more specific area is the Shackleton Connecting Ridge. That's where this rover's going. It's a place on the moon that no one has ever been or seen, and we've never really even had like close-up images of it. But our rover will be the first to go there, and it's planned to really see if there's water ice under the surface there. And if there is an abundant amount of water ice on the moon, which they are, the scientists are pretty convinced that there is, it's likely going to be a lunar base at one point where we'll build a stopping point, because that water ice will be able to be used as fuel. So that might be really the first stop when going to the moon, in several, it could be even 10, 20 years, you'd leave here from Earth,
but
get to the moon.
If that's the case, even 20 years from now, between now and 20 years from now, there's going to be tons of missions to that specific area. There's going to be tons of opportunities for people to send bots to hitch a ride, or for whoever goes there to come in contact with this. And I love the imagination part, right? Like I never got over the fact that like I think I said this on like one of the Twitter spaces that I jumped into and you guys were talking about this, but like I still think about throwing an egg off of the roof of my junior high in 7th grade. So that was 27 years ago or so. I threw an egg off the roof of my junior high with a parachute that had to make it to the ground without breaking. Then if your group's egg didn't break, then you got to they gave you 2 little electric motors that you connected with a battery. And around those electric motors, you had to create your own Mars rover, because this was at the time when they were launching the Mars rover, or discussing launching the Mars rover. I think they launched it years later. And I just, in my mind, like this idea of a rover being sent to outer space, or maybe not, to the moon, is just so cool. And if we all talk with our kids about how this Bitcoin is going to the moon, by the time they're our age, they're going to be like, I remember when that Bitcoin was sent to the moon. Now it's worth $100 million, and I can't believe nobody got it. Now they'll be getting it, right?
Right.
Or hopefully before then they get it. But like, I like this crazy idea of our kids and people around the world going like, how do we get that? Like, how do we game the system? Like, how do we send? Maybe all it is literally just one arm with a screwdriver and a webcam, right? Like,
yeah, I mean that's totally like. So the private key, we've had some funny people in console. They're like, okay, I'm gonna build a super crazy telescope and I'm just gonna zoom in and then read the private key. But the thing is the private key is being bolted to the rover face down. Yeah. So you got to actually get there and unbolt this plaque to then
get
read
one of those
key.
Movie style comical ginormous telescopes that's like the bad guy has that like can see the dude on the other side of the world.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, to send a rover,
X-ray vision. We need a telescope with X-ray vision. Somebody work on that. It's got to already happen, but I'm still not sure it would work, but it would be fun.
I like it.
But go on. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's just kind of to go back to your point. It's like somebody could definitely build a rover that has a mechanical arm, get back to that point on the moon, there's also this new project that Joe was just showing me where they're making 3D printed rockets that are able to reach like low Earth orbit. Like, some of the people that like are finding our project, they're like, this is impossible. Like, this is only for billionaires or like, whatever. And it's like, it's really not. Like, obviously, like affordability is relative, but right now at this very point in time, you can get to low Earth orbit with Blue Origin for about $250,000.
Well, how much? Well, we start doing the math though, and you get into the millions of dollars to like hitch a ride on a SpaceX rocket or something like that, which is supposedly getting cheaper. Like,
Right.
Bunch of nerds like us came together to build a DAO to buy the Constitution, like in
Yes.
2 days amount of time. So one
Exactly.
group of college students builds a robot that they think can get there, and then they go, "We need $10 million to get it on the moon." We could figure that
DAO
shit out. The crypto
Yeah, for
community
sure.
would build a DAO to do that in a hot second. And so
100%.
I love this crazy idea, and the more value we put on it, the sooner these things happen. So now you have crazy incentive mechanisms for young, smart people to go totally rogue, to go like, fuck waiting on governments and things, like, let's find out how to get to the moon. And I think it can only spark crazy cool innovation and be a lot of fun.
I agree. And that's, we've obviously partnering with Lunar Outpost. I mean, they're ridiculously smart guys over there. I mean, they're, like MIT graduates and everything. So it's like, there's got to be at least a couple guys over there that employees that can come together on this and help us get to the moon and stuff. But, it's also about like getting that community back together, right? This is like kind of going all the way back to what NFTs and are really built upon right now is community. And so we really want this again, like to be the community that is like full of dreamers and full of people like you that like see this and their mind just starts racing with ideas. Like those are the people we want in this project to be the Android holders. So that, I mean, my perfect scenario is that all the Android holders form a DAO and go get this thing. Like, who do we need to partner with? Like, let's do it. Like, I'm ready to go reach out to MIT. I'm ready to go, we're going to go speak there. We're going to talk about stacks and this whole project.
Yeah, by the way, David Rankin in the chat, I realized I was looking at the, I normally have the chat where I can see it, but had the website up instead. He was saying it would be cool if people could see all the things on the wallets, and we will be able to see that, right? So the private keys are going to remain private, and or the seed phrase, or however it's going to live, if I understand correctly. By the way, the 62 Bitcoin is at today's value worth $1.75 million or more than that. But it's gonna be worth a lot more. Plus, more other things are gonna get on there. More other. But people will. It's gonna have like a Stacks kind of wallet that unlocks a smart contract that gives you access to or gives you all the private keys or something.
So,
like that, right?
So the way that we were doing this, so we've also partnered up with the awesome folks over at Hero. Hero is like one of the leading Stacks wallets. And so they're going to build us a custom Stacks CLI fork. And basically when you do CLI commands, you can run terminal commands to spin up a new wallet. And in that traditional CLI, it's going to give you your private keys, your public keys, your mnemonic seed phrase, and then like, a little bit more information. But what we're going to do is we're going to create this custom CLI that associates that private key with multiple layer 1 public keys. So it'll just be one single private key on that rover, but it's going to unlock
Bitcoin wallet and Ethereum wallet, Tezos wallet.
Exactly. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Stacks, Doge, Counterparty, Tezos, the list goes on. So
Joe just put a screenshot into the group chat. So if you're at blockchainbooze.io, which is the DGH events website, alpha leak JPEG, basically what he was showing is a bit of a screenshot of what the potential treasure chests will look like, where it actually shows you the amount of Bitcoin, the amount of stacks, the amount of each token there. And,
yeah, let me. I can share my screen and show you
oh
what
yeah,
that looks like too.
do it, yeah, and I'll put it on the thing.
Nice.
I need to stop sharing my screen thingy. But yeah, and I was even talking to people in the community because I think Lunar Crush already will be doing this for the most part. Oh, here it is, right there.
Yeah, so once we get this all hooked up, so we're gonna go out to Lunar Outpost and inscribe the private keys on there in the coming months. So once we get all of that hooked up and then we start throwing stuff on here, you're gonna be able to come. This is on our staging site right now, but you're gonna be able to come to lunarcrush.com/Nakamoto1/treasure. And this will be the running value of everything that's dumped in there. You're gonna be able to see all the different cryptos that have been dumped on there, and then we'll also have this nice big display of all the NFTs that have been contributed there. So one thing that we did announce last week is we announced a partnership with Giga Chad Pepe, he's like one of the early counterparty guys. And he's got, I know, isn't that like, what other industry can you say? Like, we're excited to announce.
Is this real life? I was laughing about this because like I'm having really serious conversations. Like I had a conversation with some of the world's largest banks, literally like a few days ago. I had a board meeting in the morning with the world's largest banks. And then I was going to pick my kids up from school and I was listening into the Twitter spaces and like internally, like my own inside my head, I was like laughing to myself. And I'm like, I'm on the board of a company doing deals with the world's largest banks. And on the flip side, we're talking about putting Bitcoin on the moon. And if I told any of these things to a normal person, like the parents at school who already think I'm an insane person because of crypto, like it would be the most funny thing in the world. Because if I told them I'm doing the deals with the world's largest banks, they'd laugh at me and be like, yeah, sure, weird crypto kid that doesn't like, just a weird dude. And then if I told them we're putting Bitcoin on the moon, they would be equally just thinking I'm an insane person. But yeah, while I was in between those phases, I was literally thinking about these treasure hunt ideas, like the unlockable content on an NFT. And should my ape sing a song about this? You know, like, this is the craziest shit in the world.
I mean, that's been my life for the past, year and a half. Is like, people are like, oh, what do you do for work? And, like the week of
hang out with Giga Chad, bro.
Yeah, just announcing a partnership with Giga Chad Pepe. It's gonna be sick. Yeah. But basically, so he's coming on. He's going to curate an art collection. So he's got artists that have been featured in the Met and MoMA and are come from different disciplinary backgrounds, painters and digital artists and all these things. And so they're going to be creating NFTs, and a lot of these NFTs are going to have a sister pair. They're going to be a sister pair. So one NFT will be auctioned in that artist's chosen method, and then the other NFT is going to be sent to the moon. And so we're working on partnerships like that to not only just have like what you're saying, like you got a bunch of stuff that you just don't want and you're just going to go dump it there, but there is going to be like some really high value art there. It's all going to be focused around Nakamoto One. And I'm still waiting along.
I was thinking when I was thinking of burn address too, because a lot of things like what you're doing, right? You burn 4 of your NFTs to get this one special one, right? So I was thinking like with my Tezos NFTs for Punk Ape Strong, instead of actually burning like your backstage pass or one of your NFTs to get access to the next NFT, we actually create a contract that does exactly the same thing, but instead of burning it, sends them to the moon. So one day, somebody, whoever gets this wallet, will have all these NFTs that people traded for the next one. Like what happens like when somebody does some deal, right? And we play a game of poker, and whoever loses has to send their ape to the moon, right?
There it is. That's what I was waiting for.
What's the first ape that's going to be on the moon and stuff like that, right?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing is, Joe always jokes. He's like, some bro's gonna like get drunk one night and be like, fuck it, I'm sending my ape to the moon.
I can rename. Somebody needs to get Neil Ape Strong up on the moon.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Punk Ape Strong stays on Earth. He doesn't have the cash to get a Blue Origin flight, but Neil Ape Strong is pretty smart. He'll find his way.
I like it. I like it. Oh man.
But so exactly what similar idea, right? So Giga Chad Pepe is going to be doing collaborations with artists where people can buy like a one of two NFT. They get one, the other one goes to the moon.
Exactly. So, and, these are like pretty prominent artists in the traditional art world as well as in the digital NFT art world. So we're going to have some more announcements coming up soon, announcing exactly who those people are and whatnot. I do want to say here too, and I might have said this earlier, but maybe just glossed over it. We're going to pick one Android holder, like sometime just before May, and they're going to get 2 tickets to come to Bitcoin Miami conference and come hang with the Nakamoto and Lunar Crush crew. So definitely, like, there is enough NFTs out there, right, to get to I think about 7 or 8 Androids. We're planning on minting more of these level 1s before then also, but that right there, I mean, basically
When
get
is
an
Bitcoin
Android.
Miami?
It is May 18th through the 20th, I believe.
Okay. And when, so a good question, because we kind of went down all the different rabbit holes. When will people be able to mint the level 1s and not just buy the few that you guys put on Gamma?
So today we did a Twitter post with an image, and the caption is roadmap, thumbs down, treasure map, heart eyes. So there's some hidden things in there, and so you're gonna definitely want to like stay tuned to the Twitter space there, and we're gonna be revealing some of those items on the treasure map, and that's gonna let everyone know exactly when we're gonna be minting these off. So you're gonna have to kind of keep in touch and stay in tune. Follow, get in on console. That community definitely has an edge.
I bumped into it for a second when I was sharing my screen. The console is here, let me share my screen again. Console is this tool you guys are using. It's kind of like an in-browser Telegram that I was chatting in before, that basically you connect your Stacks or your Ethereum wallet, and you can then hop in and chat and say hi to the community. And it's pretty cool. I've been playing with it. I was showing you earlier my different mid-journey options. I think the one I chose, this one, is my favorite one, but
that's pretty epic.
I was thinking this one's kind of cool too.
That one's super dope. Yeah, so console is like your Web3 native Discord. And if you are still in that browser view, there is a desktop app that you can get. It's only on for Mac right now, but if you go, so click on home there. Yeah, click on that guy. So this is like kind of our Nakamoto One console home. So all of our links in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we've got some epic partner videos, so definitely check that out. Welcome to Nakamoto kind of explains the game mechanics and everything that you're going to try to move into. And then the what is console and how to install console, that's going to let you know how to download for Mac. So it is a little bit nicer and user-friendly when it's in the desktop, application form. It does work in the browser too, but console's, an epic platform. So those are some of our prior Twitter spaces, and then the rest of the documentation there. But they've been great to work with. They're building while we're on this. So, everything is just continuing to improve as we're on there. It's been really fun and exciting. We try to do things with this project in a new and different way and provide a little bit more elevated experience. And we really felt that console.
Yeah. If you guys haven't yet seen it, watch these videos, because I watched the partner profile, Lunar Crush one, and the Welcome to Nakamoto one early on, and I got so stoked. They're really, really well done. You guys always kill it on content, but it's, you compare it to other NFT projects and you realize like how much more thought through this is. And you can tell it's not just an NFT project, right? You guys didn't just make the images to try to, sell out a mint and then, be done, right? This is something much bigger, much longer. It's kind of funny that you put the roadmap thumbs down thing, treasure map thumbs up, because like you guys are one of the most well-documented long-term teams I've ever met. So, if you wanted to show your actual Gantt charts and roadmaps and things that you guys do have, I'm sure, knowing you guys, it would blow everyone else that has a roadmap out of the water, but you put roadmap thumbs down, right? So it's just funny to me, and I love it. Sorry, I'm looking at this. I also know that on Gamma and Stacks, like this particular combination of websites, like the some of the metadata is a little slow because of the blockchain being, the blockchains being a little slow. But as we can tell, only two of these are for sale so far. That 2,000 stacks. I'm trying to do the math. Like, is that worth it?
I think we're still looking at your console screen there. I don't know if
you're not seeing. I must have showed only a tab here instead of share this tab instead. Do you see that now?
There you go. Nice.
Oh, see, I was looking at Gamma and showing the number. There's only two listed. There's 3 owners here.
Level 2. So you have a rocket. So you need the map and then
I need
orb.
the map and the orb.
Yeah, the orb's pretty sick.
$2,000 worth of stacks is basically what it's going to cost me.
So real quick,
I'm gonna wait for the mint.
I do want to say, click on that map NFT for me. Like, you mentioned, talking about the roadmap and you laughing, like, that we said no to roadmaps. And yeah, I think most people that would like get into our Notion documents and see like how much stuff is in here, but we really leaned into this idea and concept of a treasure hunt. And so for some of the really early community members, they know that we've hidden things, we've encrypted tweets that people had to decrypt, and they pointed in certain directions. And so I just kind of want a little bit of alpha for blockchain and booze here. Like, we have paid extreme detail to everything in this project. And for those in the community that do the same, you will be rewarded. And so follow the breadcrumbs, look for the clues, and there's a lot of really fun stuff baked into this project.
I'm so stoked. That's so cool. What's the name of the part of the moon you guys are going to again?
Yeah, so the actual area is the Shackleton Connecting Ridge near Shackleton's crater. So
Shackleton's crater definitely sounds like a place where treasure would be buried.
Oh, it's amazing. Do you know this? Do you know who Shackleton? He was an explorer. Right when we started this project, I did a lot of research, and there's like a book. And so I'm going to butcher this because it has been a little while since I did the majority of my research, but he was like this explorer, and I'm pretty sure he sailed like around Antarctica, and he was just this like crazy sailor back in, I'm not even going to throw a date out because I don't even know, but yeah, so it just is like super fitting that the rover's going to a crater named after this like crazy explorer that sailed, ice seas, probably in a wooden boat when nobody else would want to go. And then now we're going to go put a treasure chest on the moon in the crater named after him. So it's quite fitting.
I'm so stoked. I think this, the whole thing is just such a fun project. I think it gives you all sorts of imagination. Oh, that's awesome. Pravi, by the way, Pravi is like the king of the crypto community in Miami. So he's getting everyone Miami Vice jackets for Miami 2023. Call him. You're going to have to call him on it. Oh, you're muted.
Let's do it. Let's do a collab and make some Nakamoto 1 Miami Vice jackets.
Ooh, that's a great idea. That's a pretty cool idea. So everyone representing Nakamoto 1 has like weird space suits, but like cool modern like Miami Vice jacket space suits.
Yeah, I mean, merch is something that we're going to do. And some of the Androids have like our own hoodie trait. So, I definitely want to make those hoodies and get those out to people. So,
That's a good
maybe
idea.
the jackets are in there too.
That's such a great idea. I'm like bouncing between all the chats and all the things.
I know there's a lot.
Pravi has some more details on those jackets already. Okay, we're gonna have to look into that. Is this tweet gonna load? Oh, I might. Miami community looking forward to hosting. Oh, they got some merch and jackets already ready. So here we go. That's gonna be awesome.
Let's make it happen.
But I think this is gonna be incredible. This is already so fun. What did we not cover today that we want people to know? Like, they got to follow Nakamoto One on Twitter, because I feel like that's the place where the public info gets out. If you go to lunarcrush.com/Nakamoto One, I think most people that are regulars on Blockchain and Booze already know that I'm a fanboy and have. If you haven't signed up to Lunar Crush yet, after all of these years of me telling you to, my mind would be blown if you sign up today. So for the rest of you who already are signed up, because I know you all are, go to lunarcrush.com/Nakamoto One, because you can just click one button and then they'll notify you when all the updates happen and things like that. And then when the mint turns on, you'll be able to start minting. And in the meantime, actually, I'm going to say this while Ian figures out what else we might have missed. Set up your Hero wallet. I screwed up. I started pinging everyone on the Lunar Crush team and a bunch of friends. And I was like begging them to send me stacks because of the drop yesterday. Because I took... the stacks community is new, and I've learned since then that there's like 3 or 4 different ways that you could get stacks in a decentralized way, but it's not quite prime time yet. And so the only way for me to get stacks was to send Ethereum to Coinbase, buy stacks there, and then send it from Coinbase to my Hero wallet. But you need to whitelist your output addresses for at least 48 hours to send off of Coinbase. So then I was like sitting there looking at a few thousand stacks, but not able to send them, freaking out.
What happened recently, there was a Stacks blockchain upgrade called 2.1, which does a variety of things that we don't need to get into here. But basically, a lot of the exchanges are still converting over to that upgrade. So they've kind of locked up some of those funds. That conveniently happened just a few days before we were gonna set this live. So that is a little bit of the reason why we did the 100 up front, try to get some excitement going, get the early community involved and engaged, and Stacks liquidity and accessibility should become much better and increasingly higher in the coming days. So, but yeah, get out ahead of it. We're going to be minting this, within the next 30 days. So definitely stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter. Come join in Console. Console definitely gets a little bit of an edge. I'm always in there. Come chat with me. Ask questions. This is my baby right now. So I'm on this 24/7, 7 days a week. It's been really fun.
I love it. It's super cool. The Stacks community is really cool. I hadn't done, other than grabbing Alon.btc a few months ago, I hadn't really done anything on Stacks yet. It is really, really great. I think that it's really fun to learn a new blockchain and participate if you haven't played on Stacks yet. And it's really cool how it's tied directly to Bitcoin. I was reminded of all sorts of things that I knew about Bitcoin, but relearned just doing research. That's like, why are the block times inconsistent? What the hell happened here? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? And I started going and kind of relearning things I hadn't paid that much attention to in the Bitcoin community. And it's super fun. And so it's just another thing to learn, but another interesting community. And the community has been awesome. I've been going back and forth. I ask questions about decentralized bridges and stuff, because I am very against sending crypto to a centralized exchange to swap it to another crypto to send it to another blockchain. Like that's something that I don't do. Like I swap and trade. I don't really trade regularly, but I swap things to buy NFTs or to goof around and to learn. And I try to do it almost exclusively on decentralized exchanges. And the community came through. I like asked questions on Discord, asked questions on Twitter, and I got a ton of answers, and they have a really engaged and awesome community. So I'm stoked to learn more and participate. So check that out. So right now the only place to go is Gamma to get these NFTs, and we just burned 4 of them. So there's very few of these left. Right.
Yeah, that's right. So Gamma right now, pick up on secondary. There's 18 listed for sale, 72 items out there, but we're gonna be minting some more here in the next 30 days. So follow us on Twitter.
I just want to throw out there that for the low price of 1,420,069 stacks, you could buy Nakamoto 1 number 69. And I already made this I made this promise to Gamma because I told them accept offers in Bitcoin and I'll split it evenly across the Moon, charity, and my savings account. I'll do the same thing if someone is insane enough to buy that $1 million stacks offer right there. I'm going to put a third of it on the Moon, a third of it to any charity we both agree on, because I'm not going to just say any charity, because then you'll be like the
charity that I own.
The charity that I own, exactly. And then a third of it's going in my savings account. Fuck it, so I can invest in more startups.
Well, the very first Android was just listed for 99,999 stacks. So basically free.
I know, that's way less than my number 69. What are they thinking? It's number. I mean, 69 has the meme value, and
that's true.
Like we've said in the past, memes are money. So it's true. So, and what else did we miss? Anything else we want to hit before we turn off and people can turn on their cameras and hang out with the community if they'd like?
I guess one other thing we didn't really talk a whole lot about, just like some of the holder benefits. Once you get to an Android, so like this number 1 Android holder, hold that in your Stacks wallet, come over to lunarcrush.com. Like you've got a free pro account. So your account just got upgraded to pro. You're also now entered in to potentially get 2 tickets to Bitcoin Miami. I'm working really hard to figure out how much exclusive access we can get our Android holders to come to Florida and watch the rocket launch. We're going to be in NFT NYC here in a couple of weeks. We're going to, just because it's still early and there's only 1 Android holder, any Nakamoto holder, we're going to do a little meetup and come hang and get some drinks. So merch is, going to be in the works as well. So we're trying to make this as fun and as engaging as possible through the game mechanics, but also, give back through the holder benefits there too for the Android holders. So a lot of fun stuff in the works. We've got amazing partners. We're setting up some amazing partnerships to really just elevate this project to something that has never really been done before.
I love it. And for those who don't know, and I know most of you on here know, but if you watch a recap of this, you watch it somewhere else, the team behind this is the Lunar Crush team. And they are the folks who kind of coined the term that there is no crypto without community. And there's probably no one in the world that is better at engaging the community and rewarding them like Lunar Crush is. So, I think it's going to be really fun. I'm obviously conflicted and all in and love these guys. And you guys know I'm a fanboy, and I don't try to, hide that, because that would be weird. Weirder than saying it out loud even. But really, this is super fun. I think this is going to be awesome. I'll keep everyone updated, and I'll make sure we share any of the events you guys do with the whole community. And And what I should say too is before we sign off, if you are watching on one of the streams, if you want to go to blockchainboost.io, it'll redirect you to the DGH events website. You'll be able to turn on your camera and hang out with the community once we're done. If that's something you want to do, there's a cool crew hanging out backstage. Bobby from the community said she'll be speaking at NFT NYC already, so she'll definitely be there. So many cool things. Really, really cool stuff. So yeah, Ian, anything else? Any last minute stuff? Where can people follow you directly, or just follow at Nakamoto1 on Twitter? Follow at Lunar Crush on Twitter.
Yep, Nakamoto1, Lunar Crush. My personal handle is Ian S. Tidwell, IANSTIDWELL. I do post a couple little secret hidden tidbits here and there from the personal handle. So, you know,
do it.
Yeah, follow him, but definitely just, Nakamoto mainly for this project, and then the console is where you're going to want to be at.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Ian. It was awesome hanging out. We're gonna hang out a lot more. I'm going to be playing around a lot more, I'm sure, tonight on stacks and all that, and I'll probably be jumping in the console. And anyone who does have any crazy ideas too, hit me up. I'm totally down to work on some weird, unofficial, fun stuff that just for the fun of putting something on the moon. So hit me up. I would love to goof around with that. And like I've said in the past, by the way, the Galactic Federation is not based in. So, the more we do in outer space, I think the more galactic adoption of crypto we're going to get. And I think that's
there it
important.
is. Like
Intergalactic adoption is something we haven't accounted for yet. And I think there's something to it. I mean, with all these countries moving off of the dollar and saddling up to China, I think, people are super short-sighted even paying attention to the countries of this world. I mean, there's so much more out there. So
Yep. I agree.
So let's venture out to the great beyond. That just sounds like we're dying or something, right? Like the great beyond sounds like out of a movie, like talking about somebody dying. I don't know.
Man, brutal,
guys. Thank you so much, Ian. Thank you for joining me, and this is going to be super fun. I will see you all soon, and until next week, peace out, guys.
Thanks for having me, man.